Gotham is a show about Bruce Wayne, the Batman, and how he became the Caped Crusader. The show is polarizing to say the least. Some people love it and some people hate it. I, however, praise the show and will praise it until the day I die. The show has had its fair share of rough patches and bumps along the way, sure, but at its best, Gotham is a masterpiece of television. It won't ever be regarded as a Breaking Bad or a Game of Thrones, nor should it. Gotham is nothing like those two. Gotham is its own thing. It's like calling Joyner Lucas the Tupac of our generation. He's not. Joyner Lucas isn't Tupac. Joyner Lucas is Joyner Lucas. And Gotham is not Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. Gotham is Gotham. In television, film, and literature, there are 7 major plot points that every single story ever made can be boiled down to. There's overcoming the monster, a story about overcoming demons or an overwhelming force. These demons can be literal or metaphorical. A well-known example of this would be David and Goliath. Another is Rags to Riches, a story about rising from poverty and entering a state of wealth. Once again, this can be literal or metaphorical. The Quest, simply a story about going on a quest. This quest could be intrinsic or extrinsic. It could be a quest for gold and wealth, or a quest for knowledge and wisdom. Percy Jackson going to get the lightning bolt, or Django fearlessly going to Candyland to save his wife. Both are examples of the quest. Voyage and Return, a story about going somewhere and coming back. Comedy, a story meant to make someone laugh, whether that be a character in the scene, or the audience at home or in the theater. This often links in with tragedy, ironically enough. Tragedy. Famously, tragedy is a story meant to make the audience feel. This is linked with comedy often, since comedic relief can either be an awkward or an effective way of furthering the tragedy. And finally, Rebirth, a story about being born again. Once again, it's often either a literal or metaphorical story. Take Jules from Pulp Fiction. He is reborn at the end of the movie by finding faith and walking away from this life. Or take Xerxes from 300 Rise of an Empire. He enters a pool of gold as a normal man, but leaves the pool a god king, an enemy for Athens to slay, full of malice and hate. There is one scene in Gotham that I show off whenever someone calls it uninspired. It's the scene in one of my favorite episodes entitled, This Ball of Mud and Meanness. This is the episode where Bruce confronts his parents' killer. This scene in particular is what I'll be commenting on, as it jumbles all of the aforementioned plot points into one spectacular piece of media.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
Relax, kid. I won't jump you. I could if I wanted to, but I'm too tired. Who are you now?
My name's Bruce Wayne.
When was this we met before?
2 years ago. An alley in the theater district. You killed my mother and father, Thomas and Martha Wayne. I was there.
Rings a bell.
You looked right at me.
I was busy that year.
My parents were important people. It was a big deal in all the newspapers.
I don't read the papers much, don't watch TV. Always the same bad news.
You really don't remember?
Oh, hey. Some of them stick with you. There's this mustache fella. He's a big fat crybaby. Comes back to me in my dreams all the time. Like he's important. I can't even recall his name. Did I stab him? Toss him off a roof? I don't know.
This is this scene's comedic relief. Now, he's not trying to relieve the audience per se. He's trying to relieve himself. Obviously, none of us, Bruce included, found the big fat mustache fella comment funny. But trying to find humor or trying to laugh in awkward situations like that can be effective methods of breaking the ice. It's realistic and relatable.
I can make you tell me who hired you.
You think so?
I can hurt you. I can shoot you in the knee. Or the stomach.
But you can't make me tell you a damn thing. Killer's code ain't much, but it's what I've got. If I did what you say I did and someone hired me to do it, you'll never know their name. Not if you take me apart piece by piece. You better believe that.
Well, then I guess there's nothing left to say.
Here's to you, son. You've been a long time coming.
You want me to kill you. Why?
A rich kid like you wouldn't understand.
Try me.
A man gets tired doing wrong and going unpunished. Nothing happens. You start to wonder if there is a God. Tighten your left hand grip.
Tragedy. Why feel empathetic to a cold-hearted murderer? That's a question asked with anger and confusion. Asked to us by ourselves. But we do it anyways. The scene humanizes Malone. It makes us feel sorry for him, even though we know we shouldn't. The way his lips quiver, the way his voice chokes up when he talks, it's as if, despite being described as a monster by himself and visually by the audience, that just isn't true. He lives in a dark apartment with a bottle of alcohol on the table in front of him, next to a pack of cigarettes. He even has a paper in front of him, presumably the names of his next jobs, his next victims. He's wearing all black, with slicked back hair. Everything points to Malone being a monster and a villain. Yet we're compelled to feel sorry for him. We know he's killed before, and we know he'll kill again if Bruce doesn't kill him. But the way he looks in this scene, it's as if he's a pleading dog who we want to help.
Aim right here. A little low. She'll kick. Come on, pull the damn trigger.
No.
Don't lose your nerve now. Do it!
Overcoming the monster. All Bruce wanted to do since his parents were killed was kill the man responsible for their deaths. He knows that killing is wrong, but all he wants and all he cares about is vengeance. But this vengeance is going to mean taking a life. It was in this moment when Bruce decides that if he kills Malone, he'll be no better than he is. He overcame his inner demons, which is also the rebirth of Bruce Wayne. Bruce went from a vengeful boy who roamed the Gotham underworld for days looking for this man, to denying the man's request to kill him, to denying his parents' murderer's plea for death.
Look at me. I'm a monster. You need to kill me.
I wish you were a monster. But you're just a man.
Bruce!
This is the voyage and return. Bruce set out on a voyage to find his parents' killer, and now he is returning.
Bruce!
He's in there.
You see, all that Malone wanted was to die. He couldn't stand the guilt of killing for a living. He couldn't bear that weight on his shoulders. But he could never bring himself to this death. He thinks of himself as a monster, and he knows he's not strong enough to kill a monster. But when Bruce tells him that he's not, that he's just a man, it is this experience, with the child of a man and woman he's murdered, where he comes to the conclusion that he can do what he's wished for ever since his first kill. And that is rags to riches. He was metaphorically poor because he couldn't do the only thing he wanted, then became rich because he could. And finally, the quest has been completed. Bruce's quest. He came here with the sole intention to kill Malone. That was the reward. The satisfaction of knowing that he's killed a monster, that he's wiped scum from the bottom of his shoe. But Bruce left with an even greater reward. He left with the thought that he'll never resort to murder. To kill a killer is to become a killer yourself. Bruce left with the knowledge that there are no monsters in this world. There are only men.